precedent?
There's always some precedent.
See, here's my problem, Counselor. This is where I think you're headed. I think what you want to do on the federal bench is advance a social agenda and rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to advance a social agenda that you can't get by the voters through their elected representatives.
Senator.
Now, that's a legitimate thing to be for. This is America. You can believe what you want, but you spent your whole career doing that. And it bothers me that you're not defending that here, that you're dodging my questions.
Senator.
You're not the only nominee who's done that. It happened under the prior administration. It must be something in the water at the White House. But I'd respect you a lot more if you just up front said it.
Hey, what just went down in the Senate is nothing short of explosive. Senator John Kennedy went head-to-head with one of President Biden's judicial nominees, and the exchange left everyone stunned. This wasn't just another routine confirmation hearing. It turned into a fiery clash over the Constitution, judicial power, and the future of America's courts. Stay with me, because I'm breaking it all down step by step. And before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss updates on the biggest political battles shaping our country.
I would be applying precedent, and precedent has
I stipulate
standards of
that you're
review.
going to apply precedent. I stipulate that, so let's take that off the table. What standard should be used to determine whether a new right ought to be created by a court, a federal judge, unelected, appointed for life, or a United States Congress?
Senator, appellate courts have standards of review when looking toward lower court decisions, and I would
Come on,
apply that
Counselor, you're not answering my question. It's a real simple question, and you're very smart, and you know what I'm asking. You believe in a living Constitution, okay? I get that. That's a legitimate point of view. You say you don't understand what an originalist is, but I don't think you're being candid there. But this is what let me ask my question again. What standard should be used to decide if you're going to create a new right in the Constitution, whether that right ought to be created by a federal judge or the people's elected representatives? Very simple.
Senator, the federal courts are of limited jurisdiction. The appellate courts sit in between a Supreme Court.
Okay, you're not going to answer it. I get it. When you were at the Brennan Center, you're still there, right?
I'm on leave, sir.
Okay, well, but when you were there, did you advocate federal courts to create new rights under the Constitution?
No, sir.
You never did?
No, sir.
Okay.
Right to vote is protected in the Constitution, and it's protected.
So you never asked for new rights, you just said they're already there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you know a right's already there if it's not explicit?
In the case of voting?
No, just in general. If I read your resume and it's not, something's on there, well, that's a bad example. If you look at the Constitution and it doesn't, let's say reparations, okay? And it doesn't talk about reparations. How do you know whether a right should be granted if it's not there? That's what I understand you to be saying with the living Constitution.
Senator, again, a case would not come before an appellate court unless parties presented an argument.
I get that. I understand how a lawsuit's tried. Let me ask you again. How do you know if a right's not explicit in the U.S. Constitution that it's really there? It's hiding, it's lurking, and we just have never seen it.
Senator, in Marbury versus Madison, the Supreme Court said that the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution.
Right.
I would look to precedent. I would look to see.
What if there's no precedent?
There's always some precedent.
See, here's my problem, Counselor. This is where I think you're headed. I think what you want to do on the federal bench is advance a social agenda and rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to advance a social agenda that you can't get by the voters through their elected representatives.
Senator.
Now, that's a legitimate thing to be for. This is America. You can believe what you want, but you spent your whole career doing that. And it bothers me that you're not defending that here, that you're dodging my questions.
Senator.
You're not the only nominee who's done that. It happened under the prior administration. It must be something in the water at the White House. But I'd respect you a lot more if you just up front said it.
Senator, I believe in the value of precedent. I think it makes our system.
So do I, but that's got nothing to do with our discussion. We both know that. And I understand that you've been advised to say precedent, precedent, precedent. When in doubt, is it raining outside? Precedent. But it inhibits our ability to have a rational discussion.
Kennedy openly accused the nominee of wanting to rewrite the Constitution every other Thursday to push a social agenda. That was the moment the tension snapped. The nominee tried to hold firm, sticking with the language of precedent, but it was clear the senator wasn't buying it. The entire room could feel the clash between originalism and living constitutionalism reaching its peak. By the end, Kennedy's frustration was undeniable. He said it outright. Too many nominees dodge, and he was tired of it. He argued that the American people deserve honesty about whether judges will interpret the Constitution or reshape it. That final punch left the hearing hanging in the air, with major implications for how this confirmation battle might play out. So what does this mean for the future of our courts? Will judges respect the boundaries of their power, or will they use the bench to push social change that Congress never approved? These are questions that matter to every single one of us because they decide how laws and rights are shaped in America. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should judges have the power to create new rights, or should that remain in the hands of elected officials? Don't forget to click the subscribe button and stay tuned for more political deep dives that matter to you.